Hi again and welcome to my channel. These videos are designed to get you thinking and actually understanding about certain subjects that you'll be involved in day to day. Feel free to put your comments and your opinions in the comment box below this video. As you've already seen, I do like to interact with people who take the time to comment. So let's go. I remember when I was in secondary school, which is quite a long time ago, and I used to try and do everything that I could to fit in, just like a lot of kids would do. And the kids that would be respected are the ones who had the Nike trainers, the Moschino jeans, the Versace jeans, all those sorts of kids, the ones who came in wearing that sort of gear. I would make sure that no matter how long it took me to gather money, I would go and get my Nike trainers, but it wasn't just the average Nike trainers, it had to have the air bubble showing. I would go and buy my jeans, Versace jeans, but not just plain Versace jeans, it had to have the Versace badge at the back showing, so everyone could see that my clothes were designer and my trainers were a brand. I used to look at adults, people who are much older than me, who are wearing plain clothing, unbranded, and I used to think, oh, that would never be me. I could never be walking around with anything that's not branded or not designer. I needed to make sure that I was always earning money, lots of money. I was only interested in earning money. I needed to make sure that I could always be dressed in designer gear all the time. Money was my only focus. Some people grow out of it, most people don't. What happens is their desires evolve. They evolve into something bigger. They want a big house, expensive car, expensive jewelry, expensive watch, handbags, shoes, etc. They're trying to fit into a new big world, and money will allow this to happen. The school mentality has moved up a gear. Now, straight up, I've been guilty of this in the past, spending money irresponsibly on material items. But then there came a time where I had a realization of what money actually is. And this is what I'm going to tell you now. Before money was ever created, people used to hunt for animals, pick vegetables, etc. They lived and survived perfectly well without money. They didn't need it. So why was it created? Money was created for people to get something for nothing. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, you will do during the rest of this video. Money is in people's imagination. They wait for money to appear before they can go and get food. Food that they were getting for free centuries ago. Suddenly, they are unable to obtain it without having money. This thing has come in as a middleman, put itself as a barrier. It's like having the front door to your house open, but you believing there is a virtual door in front of you. So you can't enter because you believe you're being prevented from entering. If we look at a typical farmer, a farmer has less need for money than most people. If we assume that the necessities for people are food, water and shelter, the farmer produces food so he doesn't need to buy that. The farmer can access water, so there's no need for him to purchase that. And if he wants to build shelter, the farmer can easily exchange food for the services of someone who could build him shelter. If we're honest, the person who's going to build him the shelter, the money that he would have got for that would probably be mostly spent on food anyway. So why on earth is a farmer producing food to sell, to go and buy what he already produces, which is food? The reason the farmer does that is because the farmer is part of the money belief system. Money itself is completely useless without a belief system. I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. Money to exist requires people to believe in it. They need to believe that they need it. Humans naturally do not need money. They have zero requirement for money. If you look at a newborn baby has zero concept of money whatsoever. If you never introduce money to a human being, it will make absolutely no difference to a human being's life. Because a human being's natural instincts are to eat, reproduce, find territory, etc. No baby is born with the instinct to make money. No baby is born with a credit card. It is all part of belief system. You need to teach the baby, you need to teach the person about money for them to have any idea about it. Let me tell you, setting up and running a belief system like money is by no means an easy task whatsoever. It requires constant maintenance in order to keep it functioning. Firstly, you have to make the world believe in it, and that is no easy task. So you have no choice but to have to enforce it. It cannot be an option for people to believe in or not, because if too many people do not believe in it, it will not work. The people who do not believe in it have to be made to believe in it. Also, even the people running the system have to believe in the system themselves. The same way a cult leader has to believe in the cult values. Trust me, they do. This might sound crazy, but I'm going to give you an example of what happens when the people running a system does not believe in the system. I'll give you the example of parents and Santa Claus. When parents sell the story or the myth of Santa Claus, they do so by telling the kids that Santa Claus only gives presents to the kids that are nice and not naughty. So in the child's mind, they believe that they have to be good in order to receive presents from Santa Claus. But because the parents do not believe in the myth of Santa Claus because they know it's not true, they have real trouble enforcing it. So what happens is, on Christmas Day, the vast majority of parents will make sure that there's presents underneath the tree, regardless of the child's behaviour. Also, the parents do not spend the entire year giving constant reminders of the consequences of misbehaviour in relation to the gifts they're going to get at Christmas. As not all the parents across the world relay the same myths to their children, the belief system collapses as soon as the child is alerted by other children that there is an alternative belief, and the belief is it's the parents that give them the presents, which the child sees as a more realistic story, and suddenly Santa Claus doesn't exist. With that in mind, you can understand why it is important for everyone across the world to believe in the money belief system, including the people running the system. Also, a system like this needs to be constantly in people's mind. Use it as a punishment if need be. It's human nature that when someone loses something, they have more interest in it. Just like if someone is in a relationship, they have more interest in a partner when they lose their partner. Like when you take a toy away from a child, they want to play with that toy that you've taken away. They may not have had interest in it before. That's where things like finding comes in. Finding fuels people's desire for money. Also, when they lose money with taxes, it gives the person a higher value of the money because someone else wants it. So if someone else wants it, it must be something that's important to keep. However, finding and taxing is actually not enough to keep people working in exchange for something that's purely just a belief. If people spent money on food and shelter alone, that would not be enough to keep it going. You only need to acquire shelter once, and there's only a certain amount of food you can consume in a day. And it wouldn't take long for people to realize that they can produce their own food and not have a requirement for money. So in order to keep people working in exchange for something that is just a belief, you need to create items that they don't need but make them believe they need it. Cars, phones, designer handbags, designer clothes, etc. These items can only be acquired by using money. So when you get people to believe that they need it, it is very easy to get them to adopt the belief that allows them to access it. Now you've created a strong outlet for money. However, again, that is not enough. If a human being is not able to access something easily, it doesn't take too long for them to lose a desire for it. So if you make it virtually impossible for a person to acquire a car, for example, they can save and save and save, but after a time, they give up on the idea when they find out how hard it is to reach the goal. So in order to tackle that area, you create a system that allows them to acquire these material items easily. And that system that you introduce is something called borrowing. So now in this system, you make a person believe that you have given them something, and money, the belief of money becomes real. The reason it becomes real is because the money gets converted into a material item, which is a car, a phone, or whatever. So that person believes that they have been lent something that is absolutely real because they can see something physical. So the belief has been attached to a physical item. So now they feel obligated to work in order to return the money that is just a belief. So they are now solidly in the belief system, a system that is being created in someone's mind in minutes. That same person will spend years and years and years and years working for something that is just a belief. Understand what has been created. The need for a material item, car, phone, handbags, watches, and the belief that money is actually real. Okay, going back to what I said about the people running the system have to believe in the system. All countries can produce something that can be consumed by its people. If a country needs to import food, they can export something else in exchange for what they're receiving. If the country did not believe in the money belief system, this is how they would act. But because they do believe in it, they put money in between the products that they're exchanging. Not only that, some countries believe that their own belief system is of less value than another country's belief system. Let me explain. Let's look at Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka exports items like clothing and tea, things that actually have value. However, when you go to Sri Lanka with a US dollar and you want to exchange it for Sri Lankan rupees, you don't get 1 rupee for $1. For your dollar, you'll get 100 rupees. So when you go over there with a US dollar and you're looking to purchase tea or clothing, actual items that are real that you can do something with, not only are they exchanging something that's real for something that's imagined, they're valuing it 100 times less than the value of the imagined belief of the US. Sri Lanka has absolutely no need for money. They're able to produce their own food and they're able to build their own shelter. I've been there. But they believe that they need money to survive. And not only that, their own money belief system, they believe, is inferior to other countries. I'm going to leave it here for now until part 2 because there's quite a lot to digest. But hopefully now you can see why I always go on about not spending your life working for money. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope there are items in it that can get you thinking. If you're new to my channel and you enjoy my content, please do remember to subscribe. If you have any comments, put it in the comment box. If you like my video, hit the like button. Thank you for watching and I will see you on the next video.